You know, it's a really genuine honor for me to be here with you all tonight. So I'd first like to thank, first of all, the wait staff and everybody here that made the evening so enjoyable, the bartenders, everybody that's been working here to allow us to have such a lovely time. Thank you to the Matthew Shepard Foundation, of course, for the invitation, and all the many people who work behind the scenes, the board, the sponsors, to make this evening possible. I'd particularly like to thank Judy for her patience and her understanding as we navigated my somewhat complicated work schedule recently. For a long time, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make the trip to be here in person. So Judy and I have been emailing a lot lately for the past few months about logistics and potential contingencies. And as we did, I became familiar with her email's signature. At the end of every message from Judy, it reads simply, "What is past is prologue," which I recognized as a quote from Act 2 of Shakespeare's The Tempest. Okay, to be honest, I wish I was well-versed enough in Shakespeare to recognize it as a quote from Act 2 of The Tempest, or even from The Tempest, or even as Shakespeare. Truth be told, I Googled it to figure out what the origin of the quote was, but its meaning resonated with me from the first time I read it, and it stuck with me as I began to give more thought to accepting this honor from the foundation that does such incredible and impactful work in Matt's name. How can we emerge from the darkness of the past and evolve into a place of light and meaning in both the present and the future? This, to me, is the suggestion of that quotation, and indeed the very essence of the work being done on a daily basis by the Matthew Shepard Foundation. We shouldn't have to be here tonight, because Matthew should be here. It's a horrible moment in the past that brought us to this evening, and it's hard to believe that it was 24 years ago yesterday when the dreadful events in Laramie robbed Judy, Dennis, and Logan of their beloved son and brother, and countless others of their friend, their confidant, their champion, and their ally. But instead of being defined by the tragedy of Matthew's murder, Judy and Dennis Shepard knew intrinsically that they had to transmute it. They had to harness the power of Matthew's spirit and allow it to reverberate as an antidote to the very kind of hate and inhumanity that ended his life far too soon. From such incomprehensible grief has come waves of hope, acceptance, and of love that have washed over an entire generation of parents struggling to accept their children, of young people striving to accept themselves, and of whole communities learning how to honor and meet the needs of some of their most vulnerable. When I consider my own past as prologue, I hearken back to that time 24 years ago. Like Matthew, who was born 6 months and 1 day before me, I was a curious and social 21-year-old kid. I had hopes and dreams that were just taking shape in the context of impending adulthood, and I was navigating the complexity of my identity as a gay man, but unlike Matthew, that was a fact about myself with which I had not yet fully come to terms. The news of his killing hit me hard, particularly because he was someone to whom I could so closely relate in terms of where we both were in our unfolding lives. The fact that his was cut short so senselessly seemed more unfair and arbitrary than I was able to reconcile. Looking back on it now, I realize there is no reconciliation for why I am here and he is not. But I do know that my eventual self-acceptance, my personal evolution, and any contribution that I've made to the lives of others have certainly been informed by him. If I have made a difference at all in the lives of other LGBTQIA people, it is because of the lessons I have come to learn from the past, from the generations of queer and transgender people who preceded me and suffered at the hands of bigots and oppressors, both individual and societal, and from the people like Matthew, from my own generation, whose tragedy, thanks to the compassion and resilience of his family, has become a touchstone of the movement toward a more equal and inclusive world. The prologue of this story may be utterly horrifying, but the chapters that have been written since are brimming with inspiration and with hope. I'm deeply moved to accept this honor, and I can say without hesitation that I am a better person because of Matthew Shepard and the unwavering work of the Matthew Shepard Foundation and its founders, Dennis and Judy Shepard. In gratitude, I would like to take this opportunity to pledge a $25,000 donation to the foundation. $1,000 for every year that Matthew has been gone, and $1,000 to signify the work that lies ahead for them and for all of us to keep making a difference in this world. May they and we continue to touch and shape lives with love and with light. Thank you so much.